Hi, Renee here. I wanted to show you guys this cake. It was delectable. So much so that my son was like, Mom, I want you to make that cake for my birthday. And this is literally like 10 days later. So he loves cherries. So I'm going to alter the recipe a little bit and I'm going to actually use a cherry filling instead. And then I tweak the recipe again because, like I said, I used cherries when I made the filling instead of strawberries. It calls for 1 cup of whole milk. I used chocolate milk because I wanted extra chocolate flavor. And then also it asks for a cup of boiling water, which I'll have to put that in the microwave. And I used coffee. And the reason why I do that is because coffee really helps bring out, accentuates the flavor of chocolate, especially in cake. So I typically will always substitute coffee for water. And one thing I liked about this recipe is because it was so forgiving, did not have to have everything accurately measured, was able to change a few things around, and it still was delectable. And then, so you'll notice though, and this was what kind of threw me off when I made it the first time, I was a little scared because the batter ended up being super runny. And I thought, oh, I messed it up. It's how it's supposed to be. So right now, the batter looks like normal, cake. And then what I did was I have a mess everywhere now. I got 3 8-inch pie pans that I prepped. So I get this stuff out of the way, and I'm going to check it. Oh, that coffee is boiling. All right. And so see, nice hot. And you can just use water. It's just, I've noticed, like I said, whenever I add coffee to the mix, it really enhances the flavor of the chocolate. There's a science behind it, but I'm not a scientist. I don't know. I just know it works. I'm not going to knock it. I love coffee. I usually have coffee every day, so I'm not in short supply. All right. And then I'm going to try to show you how runny this will end up being. If I can get it in screen. You can tell it's my first time making one of these videos. I'm horrible at it. But you'll see. Now it is like super runny, which had me scared. Really did. I was like, I did something so wrong. But that is actually how it is supposed to be. And you divide that evenly between these 3 pans. And it says 350 degrees. I know that. I have a convection oven, so I actually ended up, it says 350, but I actually had it set at 375 on mine, and that turned out perfect for me. So obviously, like anything, oven temperatures vary. It's like pant sizes. You can say 350, but is it really? Okay. And then I'm going to ballpark, or eyeball, I should say. They look fairly even. So yet. So we're going to pop these in the oven. Okay, so while the cake is in the oven baking, I just wanted to show you, I already made the cherry filling. I used frozen cherries because I was too lazy to go pit my own. I did buy some fresh cherries that we'll put on top of the cake. I used 3 tablespoons of cornstarch and 3 tablespoons of water because I wanted this to be super thick. The cherries had a lot more juice to it, so I just wanted to get it to this kind of a, consistency, because this is what's going to go in between the layers of the cake. Okay, let's take a peek. It's been 30 minutes. Pulling away from the pan. That's a good sign. I think it's actually done. I'm going to go ahead and pull these out. Okay, so the next step is to make the ganache. I make 2 different versions. We're going to do the wet version that's going to go over the whole cake, and then we'll do a whipped ganache for the accents around the cake. Okay, so I think I have everything set up to show you guys this. And I've got the cherry filling. You see how much it's set? Maybe you can see it. And then I'll just plop a little bit right here just to hold the cake onto the plate. A little bit of the filling. And then we're going to put this first cake piece on and kind of center it. I want it to look somewhat nice. We'll clean that up in a little bit. And then flop on a nice layer, about half of this. I guess it would be like a jam now, huh? Maybe like that. Kind of smooth it out. And then we're gonna. Okay, so I think this layer I'm just gonna set right on top of that one. Give it a little squish down, so if it doesn't move around too much. And then we're going to put more cherries on top of that one. The last cake layer. This time I'll flip it that way. I know, a little dome top, but that's okay. I'm pushing a little bit just to help squeeze some of that filling out. And then will come the fun part. Slightly cooled ganache. And we're just gonna, I'm trying to see if I can do this at an angle. Well, I guess it doesn't matter. You're just gonna plop it right on top. And it's gonna slowly, that's why we want it to set for a minute so it wouldn't just pour completely, because I definitely want chocolate on top of the cake. But then you can see it's all silky, and as it works its way, it's going to start falling down the sides and get kind of messy. So I'm going to push it along and spread. And I'm going to continue doing this all the way around the cake. I'm going to let it set up a little bit. It doesn't have to be perfect because we're decorating this cake with the whipped ganache and additional cherries. So what I did was I have a Wilton 1M tip that I use Ziploc bags because I'm too cheap to buy the decorator bags. That's just the way that, it has to go sometimes. And again, since I'm making this as a quick birthday cake, I'm not getting super fancy. Just like normally, you'd be a little bit more particular with the ganache. But again, this is all about the taste of this cake anyway. Let's see. I don't know if you can see. I'll do the bottom first. I'm just going to do some big blobs. Okie dokie. So piped around the top too, and then we're going to take the cherries. I decided not to pit them. I was like, it's too much effort. Okay, so here is the cake all kind of finished. Like I said, it's not perfect. It's kind of, I did it quick. It is a time-consuming cake, so even saying doing it quickly, it's not quick. But, this will work for what he wants for his birthday. And the ultimate will be the taste test. Okay, and then on serving day, 2 days after the cake was made, and it was still super moist, it had the nice cherry filling. You can't really see the filling in the cake slices because it was such a dark cherry. The strawberry, you really can see the filling. But again, no complaints. It was delicious. If you like this video, I hope that you will hit like and subscribe, and maybe I'll do some more recipes in the future. And if you decide to make this recipe, please comment below and let me know what you think about it. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.